All right, my friends, we have five seemingly wild things that footballers are doing to gain and get an edge. Number one, DNA vibe. What? DNA vibe? What is that, Will? Hang on a second. Let me answer that for you. DNA Vibe is a wearable device that uses light therapy, often red and near infrared light, to support your muscles and joints. And guess what? It's also paired up with a thing called the human charger. What's that? I will answer it for you again. Hang on. Human Charger is a device that beams light through your ears. It is designed to help with energy, mood, and mental clarity. And guess what? Everybody is bundling this together. They are using both of these, shining light into their eyes, shining light onto their skin in order to get better as a footballer. What? At the end of the day, the idea behind this, of course, is many-fold. But in order for us to be at our tops, no matter what level you are playing at, you need to be able to recover as fast as possible. The more healthy you are, the better you are as a footballer, period, okay? Recovering from an intense match, a training session, the idea is that light therapy is believed to help reduce muscle soreness and inflammation. Inflammation is a killer. You have got to try to avoid this at all costs. With the Human Charger, the idea is that it's going to reset your body's internal clock. It's going to combat jet lag. Obviously, if you are traveling for a large period of time, this is going to be helpful if it can actually combat jet lag and you can get the rest that you would have if you were just sleeping in your house as normal. Many of these things today will have a ton of years behind them and research, and some of these will be new, exactly like the DNA Vibe and the Human Charger. But of course, we are going to present them for you. You need to do your own research and figure out if this is something that can help you. But for some context, check this out.
What DNA Vibe does is very much focused on the molecular domain, specifically the molecular excitation of DNA, the DNA molecule, which is the one thing in our body that stimulates and governs regenerative healing. Gary's Human Charger is really focused on the cognitive level. And when you put the two together, you end up with a perfect balance, a reinforcing dynamic that helps elevate the mind-body connection. With cognitive therapies, bright light therapy, but in a much more sophisticated and useful form, as in the Human Charger, you're really helping normalize and adjust, and in many cases, reset the circadian rhythm.
Now, if your friend tells you to tape your mouth shut, it could be because you talk too much, you have bad breath, or you just have an ugly smile, or he could be telling you what to do in order to get better oxygen efficiency. What? That's right. Why are people taping their mouth shut in order to get better at kicking a ball? Well, it's not necessarily about the ball kicking that we're talking about here. What's going on is that guys are trying to get better oxygen efficiency. We have talked about this before. We had on James Nestor, who has written the book Breathe, Breath, it's Breathe. Whatever, he wrote it, we talked to him. He did the research, so you wouldn't have to.
What I discovered is that coaches have been using breath training for decades and decades and decades, and it worked incredibly well for so long. What does that force you to do? It forces you to breathe through your nose, because when you're breathing through your nose, you get 20% more oxygen. And by getting 20% more oxygen, you think that's not going to make a difference to your performance and recovery? You're crazy. And he's the one who taught the U.S. men's track and field team to breathe properly, and they went out and destroyed everybody. They won more medals than any other track team ever, and they did not need to take oxygen before or after the races. Every other team was. They didn't need to because they knew how to breathe properly.
Habitually breathing through your mouth is a massive problem. What players are doing is taping their mouth shuts, not just before they go to bed, but also sometimes when they're training, in order to retrain their brain and get their minds around the concept of breathing through your nose, because it is better for your body. It's better for your stamina. You actually are able to, and I can attest to this one at least. The benefits of this, of course, push on outside of the field to a deeper sleep, better mental clarity, aiding in your recovery, and a whole host of other things. This is one of the easiest things for you to incorporate and put into your game. All you need is a small piece of tape. There are companies that sell specific sleep tape for you to try, but it is a very, very easy way for you to get a benefit that you might be missing out on, because habitual mouth breathing is no good. Fascia training, fascia training, fascia training. That's all we're hearing about nowadays, huh? What the is fascia training? Jesus. At least at the beginning, we can say fascia is the connective tissue that surrounds your muscles, bones, and organs. It affects your flexibility, your movement, and your overall muscle function. I'm too dumb to understand what else is going on, so I talk to someone smarter than me in order to understand what the hell is going on. You guys are starting to see a pattern here. What we understand is that at least a well-trained fascia system is more elastic and can reduce injury risk. Fascia-focused exercises improve your body's natural spring-like abilities. They help with your speed and your agility. So for us as footballers, it is crucial.
We are doing everything we can to make people understand, number one, there is a fascial anatomy, has to take precedence over the current understanding. Number two, the fascial anatomy's understanding and the fascial connection influences your sports performance greatly, and also sports rehab and chronic pain, because I have experience in all those areas.
Fascia, as we understand it now, adapts over time. So this is something that is going to have to be consistent for you. It's not as easy as you just taping your mouth shut, but it is easy as your body goes with you everywhere. You are going to train, so you might as well get after it. Probiotics, beneficial bacteria that live in your gut. They support digestion, immune function, and overall health. A well-balanced gut microbiome can influence your energy levels. That is why in our stamina video, probiotics made the list.
The thing that is going to change everything for you is when you get your gut health straight. When your gut is healthy, you get more energy. Your hormones function smoothly. You can assimilate all the nutrients that you eat. And this in turn will give you more stamina, more endurance, and more focus.
Because we are starting to understand that our guts control more than just our food intake, and that's it, all right? So whether or not you are at the top levels of your stamina is going to also be regulated by a complex system and process that could be going on in your gut. And if you don't have that under control, you might be missing out. One of the most wild things about dealing with your gut is that it can be influenced by a whole myriad of things. Of course, you can take probiotics. You can try yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut. There's all sorts of things that you can do in order to promote good gut health. If you go look at all the things that we've already presented, the majority of them are having to deal with making sure that you are at optimum health. If you are at optimum health, you're going to be able to perform better. The thing that everyone is trying to do is to try and squeeze the most out of their healthy system. This is just another way for you to do that. Lucid dreaming, what? People are training in their dreams? Is this Messi? Is this the Ronaldo Messi thing? We're going to find out that these guys are just playing football in their dreams while they sleep for 8 hours, and that's the reason they're better than everybody. Whatever. All right, the point is that, yes, there are people and studies being done on people who are training or simply utilizing the effects of lucid dreaming to get better at their sport when they're awake. It sounds insane, but it's happening. I got some good news and some bad news for you. The good news is that you can learn how to do this. The bad news is it's not always easy for everybody. Sometimes it might take a little while, but just like the fascia training, if you put in the work, it's pretty clear that almost everyone can learn how to do this. And if you can learn how to do it, you can learn how to benefit from it. To explain what lucid dreaming is in a more precise way, lucid dreaming is the practice of becoming aware that you are dreaming while you are dreaming, and then you are able to then, of course, control certain aspects of your dream state. Why might this be important? Well, because the brain doesn't seem to understand the difference between when it's awake and when it's asleep. And so if you are training your football skills, if you are scoring goals, if you are running faster, if you are trying to solve a problem, what we see is that your brain doesn't understand the difference, and then those benefits leak into your daily life. If you figure this out in your dream, it means that you're going to figure it out, generally speaking, in your waking life. That's crazy.
Where they were studying the capacity of athletes to use lucid dream to increase their athletic performance. Now, the reason they studied athletes was because it's a really easy data point to measure. You can basically see, how many squats or press-ups can someone do in the waking state, teach them lucid dreaming, get them to do squats or press-ups in the lucid dream, and then see how many they can do the next day in the waking state. So really good you can get some good data points there, right? But also, I think athletes were good at it because of what we just said, the mentality. And also, it's just cool that they can get better in their sleep, right? And especially high level, especially Olympic athletes, every second counts. So if there's a practice that can give you just 1 extra second over your opponent, then it's worth doing.
If you are looking for a way to incorporate this into your life, we have done podcasts on this with sleep researchers, with dream researchers. We have talked about this at length on our other channels as well. So check out the Way of Will John podcast. Of course, if you want to see some of that, we'll leave links right down below to everything that you guys have seen today in this video. There's so much for you to go over and there's so much for you to try. Please always do your own research, have a look, enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one.